Kevin Warsh today, so I'm meeting with him, and I sort of have a very good idea what I'm looking for. Again, I'm looking for somebody that will be honest with interest rates. That's all. I just want honesty. Our rates should be much lower. Our rates should be the lowest rates in the world. Because all these countries that you see, you know, with low rates, many of them are low because of us, because they suck so much money out of us. But that's not happening anymore. We should have the lowest rates in the world. And without us, none of them really exist as an economy. I mean, I can show you these really prime, really wonderful countries. They've had nothing but success. It's because they took so much out of the United States. I mean, it's one of those little problems. I want to see that when we do well, we're rewarded for doing well, not the way it's been for the last pretty long period of time.
Are you asking for finalists to pledge to lower rates? Are you asking these finalists to pledge to lower rates if they become the chair?
No, I'll be asking questions and I'll be able to figure it out.
Mr. President, we have 3 countries sending drugs to the U.S., Mexico, Venezuela, and Colombia. And you talked to the president of Mexico, you already talked to Nicolas Maduro. Have you considered talking to the president of Colombia, who you call a drug dealer?
No, I haven't really thought too much about him. He's been fairly hostile to the United States, and I haven't given him a lot of thought. He's going to have himself some big problems if he doesn't wise up. Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories that they make cocaine, as you know, and they sell it right into the United States. So he better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next too. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next. Yes,
Mr. President.
Because we don't like people when they kill people, and they sell drugs. They kill them in the United States, and Colombia is a major manufacturer of drugs, meaning cocaine in particular, as you know.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Multiple House Republicans in recent weeks, days, have been critical of Speaker Mike Johnson. I wanted to ask you if you're still confident in the Speaker to keep his conference together ahead of the midterms, and how often are you speaking about him?
I think Mike Johnson is great. You know, he's had a majority of 2, 3, 4, then back to 2. We actually had 1. So we were 1 heart attack away from disaster. So everybody prayed for everybody's health. I think Mike Johnson's been a fantastic speaker. I mean, a very hard job because, you know, when you have a small majority, and we got the biggest bill in the history of our country approved, the Great Big Beautiful Bill. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. There are different names for it, but to me it's a Great Big Beautiful Bill because it gives the biggest tax cuts in history, the biggest regulation cuts in history. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. I think Mike Johnson's been a great speaker. I think few people could have done that job.
Do you want to see another big package move through Capitol Hill the next year? Or?
Well, we don't need it because we got everything. You know, this was supposed to be 17 bills. And I think it was my idea, but, you know, with the concurrence of people that have done this a long time. And I said, why don't we make it 1 bill? Because it's very hard to get things approved by the Democrats. And it worked out because there was something good for everybody. If we would have done 17 bills, we wouldn't have gotten 1/3 of them approved. It was something great for everybody in the one, you know, the Great Big Beautiful Bill.
Brian? It's good to see you, Mr. President.
Hi.
I follow up on the event last night in Pennsylvania. Huge crowd turned out there.
Yeah, big crowd.
It seemed like Rally Trump was in prime condition last night. You enjoyed it. Can you just give me your thoughts on that? Then I do have a question on the gold card.
Last night was amazing in Pennsylvania. We had a tremendous crowd. It was like freezing. And the people, the thousands of people on the sidewalk trying to get in on the streets. It was an amazing evening, actually, and I think people really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You could tell that.
I can tell that you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I really did. Well, you know, it's easy to enjoy when you do a good job, and, you know, when you can talk about things in a very positive way. It's hard not to say it. We have potentially the greatest economic boom in the history of the world. It's being built right now. And when it opens, there will be nothing ever in history like what's happening in our country. And, you know, Washington, D.C. is safe, and Memphis is now. Look at Memphis. Crime is down 60% in Memphis. We just got there 3 weeks ago. And we're going to have New Orleans. New Orleans was we just sent a group of people there, and Crime is down 28% in about 3 days. No, we do a good job, you know, and these are central casting people. These people they're very tough people if they have to be. They're very good, they're great patriots, but they are the toughest, and they don't take any nonsense. And every place we go, we knock down crime. Too bad that we're not invited more into Chicago, because we could save Chicago very quickly. But even that, we're doing it on a minimal basis until, you know, at some point we'll just go in and do what we have to do if the governor doesn't wise up. They got a bad governor, they have a bad mayor. I would say they're both incompetent, but it's hard to believe that people don't want to stop crime. We could stop the crime in Chicago in about 2 weeks. Go ahead.
My question is on the gold card. And I apologize if I missed the answer to this. Is there a limit to how many gold cards these companies can buy?
Howard?
So the program is part of the already approved visas. So we're just going to have great people come into this country. You know, the average green card holder earned less than the average American. So they were more likely to be on the dole and be on our assistance programs than average Americans. And the idea is from President Trump, he wants to raise it, bring in the best people into America. So same visas, but now just full of the best people.
Basically, it's a green card, but much better, much more powerful, a much stronger path. And a path is a big deal. Have to be great people, but much stronger path. And it also, in addition to that, helps companies, because not only for companies, but if IBM gets somebody #1 in his class at the Wharton School of Finance, and you're dying to get the person, but you can't guarantee the person stays in the country, because oftentimes they'll say, I'm sorry, sir, you got to get out of here, you have 24 hours, right? And you say, where's my employee? Now IBM can buy a card, and that employee can be there for essentially a very long period of time.
Mr. President,
It's so needed for the companies. You know, it's needed for others, but really it's basically a much better form of a green card. And you can't get green cards. They are impossible to get. This is much better than a green card. Yeah.
Yes, so did you tell Bruce Blinken not to run for governor, or that she should think about not running for governor?
I haven't spoken to, first of all, he's a friend, she's a friend. These are two great people running. In a way, I hate to see them running against each other. I hope they're not going to be damaging each other. But Elisa's fantastic, and Bruce is, they're two fantastic people. And I always hate it when two very good friends of mine are running. And I hope there's not a lot of damage done. Sometimes it works the other way. The victor ends up being much stronger because of it. A lot of times that happens in politics.
You think you'll step in a couple months and actually see who performs?
Well, I think in New York we have a convention toward the end of February, and I think you'll know pretty much at the end of February what's going to happen. And I'll probably have to, you know, do what I want to do. But I hope that he's running now, as you know, and she's running. We have two very talented people. Either one should win against the Democrats.
Mr. President, the President legacy story lately focuses on one of your cabinet members predicting that you're going to fire this one or you're going to get rid of that one. Of all your cabinet members, who would you perceive as the most under attack?
Well, I think my cabinet's fantastic. I read these same stories that I'm unhappy with this one or that one, and I'm not. I think the cabinet's done a great job. I read a story that I was unhappy with Pete because he was attacking drug dealers. I said, that's not exactly right. I would say very much the opposite. Pete Hegseth has been phenomenal. I read a story recently, I'm unhappy with Christie. I'm so happy with it. I mean, we have a closed border. We have a border that's the best border in the history of our country. Why would I be unhappy? She's fantastic, actually. No, we have a fantastic cabinet. Really fantastic cabinet. I mean, Lutnick I'll have to think about. No,
Can't have everything.
can't have everything. He's doing great. Well, Howard's done really well, and Scott's done really well. We have just a fantastic cabinet. I'll tell you who's doing a great job is Linda McMahon. We're bringing education back to the states where it belongs. Education is going, we can't do any worse than we're doing right now. Let the states run it. You know, if you go back to some of our states that are run so well, so good, I would say 40 of them. And then you'll have trouble with 5, and you'll have bigger trouble with another 5. But you have 35 or 40 states that will run education as good as Norway or Denmark, Sweden. We have some, you know, the heads of the list are Denmark, Norway, Sweden, a few others. I think if you go to Iowa and you go to Indiana and you go to, I can name a lot of states, I think it would be almost the equivalent or maybe better. But you can't run a school system in Iowa from Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Sir, the Gaza plan, when do you expect to announce members of the Board of Peace, the leadership of that?
Well, we'll do it early next year. And the Board of Peace are going to, it'll be one of the most legendary boards ever. Everybody wants to be on it. It's mostly going to be, I guess, you know, we weren't thinking about it that way, but they want to all do it. Basically, it'll be the heads of the most important countries.
Mr. President.
They all want to be on. It wasn't really planned. We thought we were going to get very distinguished people that do that kind of thing for a living. But really, it looks like it's turning out to be, they want to be on the heads, the kings and the presidents, prime ministers, they all want to be on the Board of Peace.
Mr. President, on the video up to last night's rally, can you clarify, you have called the affordability crisis as a Democratic hoax, but you also want to make America affordable again?
No, the word that they use is a hoax, and because they're the ones that caused the problem. I'm talking about when you're trying to say it a different way. Now, it's pretty simple, though, if you listen. It's a hoax where they created the problem. They're the ones that gave the high prices. So when they use the word affordability, they shouldn't be using that word because they're the ones that created this problem. They created the highest inflation in history, and they created the highest prices in history. And now we have to get those things down. But when they look and they say affordability. They never discuss it. They just say the election's about affordability. Well, it may very well be. I think it's also about still the border. You have to remember the job. You know, the sad thing is, for 7 months, we've had no people come through our border. Nobody can even believe it. 0 people. And the people that do that are largely Democrats, which the people that do the stats. We've had no people come in, other than coming in legally. But if you take a look, and nobody wants to talk about that. In fact, last night I said, let me talk about the border. My own people told me, sir, nobody cares about the border anymore. You've fixed the problem. I said, do I get a little credit for fixing a disaster where millions of people a month would flow into our country, and from prisons and from gangs and from drug dealers and mental institutions? They say, sir, you fixed the border. Nobody cares. I say, but I care. It's sad when you fix something and then you can't even use it. You can't talk about it. My own people don't want to talk about it anymore. But very simply, the Democrats created the worst crisis of inflation that this country's ever had. And with that came the highest prices that we've ever had. And I'm fixing it.
Mr. President, has Secretary Hegseth told you why he hasn't released the video of the second strike?
No, he hasn't told me. I thought that issue was dead. You're surprised you bring it up. You must be CNN.
Lawmakers are still
Are you
talking about it
CNN?
on the Hill.
Are you CNN?
I am with CNN.
Aren't you shocked to find out?
The lawmakers are still talking about it on the Hill.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about lawmakers. Which lawmakers? You're talking about
Mostly
Democrats?
Democrats are talking about trying to release
I
it.
mean, the people that you work for, the Democrats? You know you work for the Democrats, don't you? You're basically an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
What, you want to talk?
Thank you guys. Turn off the cameras. Thank you guys.
All right, folks, President Trump just wrapped the meeting in the Oval Office. Very interesting, a lot of questions. He The most interesting part of that for me was there's been rumors that, oh, he's going to fire Pete Hegseth. Oh, he's going to get rid of Christine Ohm. Oh, Pam Bonnie's. He just literally said, I love every one of my cabinet secretaries. And I think that will at least calm the folks down a little bit. Very quickly, let's run over what the markets did. The stock market was up very big today. There was a rate cut. The Fed cut rates by 0.25%. That sent the stocks flying upwards. Major indexes went higher. The Dow Jones up 500 or so, S&P up 45, NASDAQ up 77. And let's jump over gold. Gold keeps going up. And crypto. Crypto backed off just a hair, holding really, really nice at 92,500 to the Bitcoin. All right, let's bring in our first guest, an actor and comedian who joins us today to talk about something not so funny. It's really, really important, folks, to the average American household. Here's why. The U.S. is facing an historic air conditioning crisis. I said it right, an historic air conditioning crisis, which is projected to cost you and me and all of us $25 billion every single year, and put a damper on, I guess, going forward, a strain on the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning industry. Let's happy to bring in Jamie Kelly on the show. Jamie, good to have you, my friend. We're going to get to your acting career. First, just set us up with what is this thing that's going to cost a monster amount of money to American people in the next couple of years.
Thank you for having me, bro. Basically, this is a huge thing that no one's talking about. A few years ago, there was a big meeting of 185 countries, and it was in Kigali, Africa, called the Kigali Agreement. They basically changed a whole gas and refrigerant that a lot of people are going to use. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that now we've picked up a new gas, a refrigerant, that is more flammable, more toxic, has PFAs in it, which are forever chemicals. Mm-hmm. It's more expensive. It gives nothing to the manufacturer here.
Just so the folks understand, this is they're trying to phase out Freon, right? Because they call it too toxic to the environment, whatnot. Mm-hmm. That's why if you've ever had your air conditioning reloaded with Freon, it costs you an arm and a leg because they're not producing it anymore. So very quickly, finish this rule change.
They're phasing this out, and let's say it was $75 a canister. Now it can go up to $1,200.
Yeah,
it's it's insane.
Yeah.
So what's happening is that it is done in China, and then it's put in the unit in Mexico. So two countries benefit. It takes a backlog of 8 months. The reason I'm involved is I do comedy, and comedy clubs, people fanning themselves. I noticed it, and I was like, what's going on? And then they're like, we don't turn the air conditioning on. It's too expensive. Then I was in a high-end restaurant in L.A. We don't turn the air conditioning on. I'm like, what? And then I did a show in Palm Springs. So from a person who has a one-bedroom apartment in Boca or Palm Springs to a huge business, to grocery outlets, whatever, this is a huge problem. The rest of the world had 15 years to make the change. We had 15 months. We're now in month 12. We have 3 months. April 1st is going to be a big thing.
After April 1st, you can't use Freon to load your
I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to be very difficult. There's going to be a lot of regulations.
So here's the important part, Jamie. I don't mean to cut you off. Because our time is fairly limited. I know he's got to get a plane back to L.A. No. You met with Lee Zeldin.
Yesterday, I had an amazing meeting with the head of the EPA, Mr. Lee Zeldin. Took my meeting, incredible. And he was awesome. Him and his staff were there and basically let me know that they're going to make an announcement soon. I can't say. That's something that I think will help this issue. And so they're working on it.
Let me ask you this: is it before April, whatever the expiration of the Freon?
I feel that there will be. I feel that yes. I don't feel that they're going to. They're going to help the industry. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. But it's not at liberty for me to say.
And
they're going to try to help this issue.
This is relevant because now Mexico, we have to go to Mexico for our whatever this product is put into the air conditioning?
It's made in China, the gas, then the gas is shipped to Mexico, then they install it in a unit in Mexico. So you got to manufacture it, wait, ship, manufacture it, wait, hope it gets shipped. I mean, it's a lot.
And then we pay.
And then we pay.
We pay more of all that manufacturing.
Their workers get paid, they get a piece of the tariff, our guys are sitting around waiting. We have nothing. We're losing money on all ends, we're losing refrigerant, we're losing it, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Look, Jamie's an actor, he's a comedian, but this is a really, really important. I've been doing this for forever. He's in D.C. We're in D.C. right now, talking to Lee Zeldin. This is very. So what is it going to take? I mean, Trump is rolling back emission standards for vehicles, right? Mm-hmm. Can he roll back this?
Mr. Zeldin assured me that he's all over it. Very aware of it. He had a great meeting with Alta, energy company, refrigerant, in October. And then he also told me that President Trump is very aware of it. He knows it's a huge problem. Listen, 118 degrees in Palm Springs, Scottsdale, Boca. You know the drill.
I do know the drill.
It's not
but
good.
But it's not only that. It's,
So
it's 100 freaking 18 degrees in Chicago in July.
100%.
It feels like
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I know we're a little bit cramped for time.
Take your time.
Tell me, the movie.
Yes.
Portal. By the way, if you recognize Jamie, he was in Scream.
Yeah. You just found that out right now.
I did.
You also said my name is Jamie Kelly.
I did say Jamie Kelly. Jamie
right.
Kenny.
Still Irish.
I know Jamie Kelly. Jamie Kenny. I'm
It's a good
sorry.
pub. I'm joking.
sorry. You were in Scream, and now
Yes,
this
sir.
movie's Portal in the Pines.
Yes.
I also just looked that up.
Portal in the Pines is a thriller kind of conspiracy theorist movie, and it's about basically time warps. Are you familiar with the CERN, Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland?
Yes, I am.
Are you
Like
familiar
the
with-
massive volume they collide. Yes.
Are you familiar with
Particle
the
collider,
Mandela effect?
That I'm not.
Well, it's basically just like they said in 2012, our timeline shifted. And it was because of this big Hadron Collider, which is in Switzerland, which is a real thing. And so the movie's about
So the
that.
portal, they discover a
is in the
portal
Pines,
in the
in-
Pines, and it's a
in
portal to hell.
No hell, just another dimension.
Well,
you
then
have
you
to
better
see.
you better talk to Rotten Tomatoes because they said it's a
Come
portal
on,
to hell. All right. Yeah. Okay. You have a wingman, which will be
Wingman will be, I'll be at 20, I'll be in your hood come, Fort Lauderdale Film Festival, February 27th. Wingman is my new comedy that's going to debut there. And then I also have another movie I did, and it's also on Amazon Prime, called Namaka, and that's If Moana Went Bad.
Dumb question. Why does a successful actor and working actor and comedian want to get involved in air conditioning?
Because it's a real problem. I'm in my 50s. I noticed it through my job, people fanning themselves, and I'm lucky enough to have a platform. So it's like, I want to help.
All right. Got it.
Seriously.
Jamie
Kennedy, brother. Thank you.
Portal.
Thank you, brother.
Prime Video. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
your
you,
time.
brother.
Appreciate your
Be
time.
safe.
All right. Do we have Mad Dog? I can't hear you. No one's telling me. Do we have Peter McCullough? Well, let's do this instead. I'm going to read this if you want me to read it. It says joint pain. Do you want to do joint pain or do you want to do Birch Reid? I'll do whatever you guys want me to. Silver! Let's do silver. Silver's a great Christmas gift. It's a Christmas season after all. That's why for every $5,000 you buy between now and December 22nd, Birch Gold will send you an ounce of silver, which is up 60%. 60% this year alone. It's $61 an ounce right now. Silver is insane. Smart people diversify and have a hedge. That's why I absolutely encourage you to buy gold, but not only buy gold, buy it from Birch Gold Group. With rate cuts from the Fed in 2026, the dollar will be worth less and less. It's just happening. It's happened over time. It's going to continue. And what happens, by the way, if the AI bubble bursts? You better be diversified. Let Birch Gold Group help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, gold bars, gold coins. And for every $5,000 you buy, you're going to get a free ounce of silver for your stocking or for your kids. By the way, what a great way to teach your kids about saving smartly. Just text the word America to 989898. America to 989898. Claim your eligibility for this offer again. America to 989898. Text it today because Birch Gold Group's free silver with qualifying purchase promotion ends on December 22nd. Again, one more time, you text that word America to 989898. We will be back in 2.5 minutes.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents under the tree.
Right now, all over the country, kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children are able to go home
and be with their families for the holidays. And it's only possible because of the monthly support of people just like you.
Thanks to a generous donor, your first gift of $19 a month will have 3 times the impact to help more kids.
With your gift of just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you, and a reminder of the care you'll be providing so kids can be with their families.
Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams.
It only takes a moment to call the number on your screen, or you can visit loveshriners.org right now on your phone or computer.
Your first gift of $19 a month will have 3 times the impact in the lives of kids like me.
Because every child just wants to be home for the holidays, and your gift makes that possible.
Your call is the best gift of all.
Your gift will be my favorite Christmas present this year.
Please call the number on your screen or go online right now with your monthly gift.
And when you become a monthly donor, your first gift will have 3 times the impact to help more kids.
Thank you for giving.
President Trump delivered on his promises, but we can't get complacent. None of our America First agenda will be secure until we build the Red Wall. Turning Point PAC is building the Red Wall in Arizona, Nevada, and New Hampshire, key battleground states where conservatives outnumber Democrats. We're funding door knockers who will win the next elections in 2026, 2028, and beyond. Today, we're asking for your immediate support. Donate at tprab.com or scan the QR code now to fund our field operations.
All right, our next guest, our own rap host of Law and Border, who's been out with the Border Patrol and is currently in Minneapolis. Let's bring in Ben Bergquam. Ben, you spoke with the U.S. Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks, and you asked him what would be his message to the American people about the importance of Border Patrol jobs. Let's take a little soundbite from that.
First and foremost, entering this country illegally is a crime. One of the things you'll hear from the left talking heads is that some of these people don't have a criminal history. Maybe not here in the United States, but they have criminal history back home. You have to understand that when the prior administration, the Biden administration, told you they were vetting people, it's just a lie. They were vetted against systems that they weren't in. They weren't vetted against the systems they were in. And Venezuela wasn't going to share that information with us because they didn't want them back either. And so what you're seeing is known criminals being arrested, those that have committed crimes since coming here, those that committed crimes from countries that do share that information with us, and then again, those that are wanted in their own country that they would not share that information with us. But listen, as we do targeted enforcement, when you target a criminal illegal alien, someone that's got a conviction for rape, robbery, murder, sexual assault of a minor, you're going to find regular illegal aliens. Why? Because the criminal illegal aliens live in the same communities as illegal aliens. They prey on those illegal aliens, hoping that they won't report the victimization that they've received because they fear deportation. For the first time in my lifetime in both the Border Patrol and in the military, whole of government approach really has a meaning. I've heard it so many times over and over again. We're going to take a whole of government approach. I've never seen it until January the 21st of this year. As you said, we got FBI, we got ATF, we got DEA. If you're a law enforcement officer in the federal government, you are in some way helping us with this mission. And the fact is that those that came here illegally are going to be apprehended, they're going to be prosecuted and deported. Is it the most secure border we've ever had in my lifetime? Absolutely. Are we going to get complete operational control? And by that I mean that nothing crosses that border without being apprehended? We are going to get it. For the first time in my career, I actually believe it's obtainable because the President of the United States and Kristi Noem are empowering the U.S. Border Patrol to do what we know how to do, which is go out there and secure that border. And we're doing it.
You know, Ben, I think it was really interesting that the president was finishing up that long press conference at the top of the hour, and he mentioned what a great job Kristi Noem is doing. A lot of people were calling me, hey, have you heard Trump's going to fire Kristi Noem? Reporters, I'm like, you guys are nuts. And Trump confirmed he's not. He's very happy with her job. Tell us about Chief Banks. He seems at least encouraged. I've interviewed him before, and he was worried about morale and whatnot. Tell us where we are with him now.
Well, that was another question that I asked him. Was it specifically about morale? And his response was, it's never been higher. Letting these guys do what they swore an oath to do is all they want to do. Border Patrol and ICE, all they want to be able to do is their jobs, to go get the bad guys. And with Border Patrol's case, I was with him in Blaine Washington up on the northern border. So those guys want to secure that border. Under Biden, they were actually shipped down to the southern border to help process illegals and invite them into our country. Now they're back up on the northern border, securing the border. And beyond that, they're able to go and do these targeted enforcements, working with ICE to go into these communities where the illegals were allowed in, and they're getting them out. So not only is Border Patrol securing the border, they're also helping with that all-of-government approach to get illegals. But that also brings you to here, where I'm at in Minneapolis, where the biggest problem we have in this country are the sanctuary jurisdictions, mayors like the mayor of Minneapolis, the governor, Governor Walz, all these people that are working against ICE. That's the problem. If there's any morale issue, it's because you have sanctuary jurisdictions working against them. But if anything, what I'm seeing is it just pisses these agents off even more, and they want to do their job even more.
You know, and it strikes me that this whole thing in Minneapolis and Minnesota, the $1 billion that the Somali group had stolen, you know, Ilhan Omar comes out and says, oh, but they're American citizens. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but they're still stealing people blind. Is there a big illegal migrant situation in Minneapolis also?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've got twofold. So one is we've allowed in millions of even legal immigrants that should never have been allowed into this country. You have people being brought in from corrupt governments, and you wonder why they would do this massive fraud in Minneapolis in the Somali community. Well, when you invite people into our country that have, first off, has no allegiance to this country, and then you don't ask them to assimilate, you don't have any expectations for them, they're going to bring that third world mentality. And so even with the legal immigrants that you have here, you still have that third world mentality with many of them. I saw a lot of them today out protesting against ICE in the community, trying to pick up the illegal bad guys. But the other side of that is, yes, you also have illegal aliens that were brought in under Joe Biden. Every country in the world just about came through our southern border and our northern border under Joe Biden, and they've shipped everywhere. But it's not just Somalis that you have a massive illegal alien population here in Minneapolis. You have huge numbers from Central America, South America, and even Asia. Big numbers from China, from Vietnam as well, all over the country. They choose these liberal cities because they get protection, they get coverage, they get all the welfare benefits, and they know now when ICE is coming to town, you're actually going to have the government working, the city and the state government working against ICE being able to do their job. So there's a reason why, yes, short answer to your question, there's a massive illegal alien population here in Minneapolis, just like every major liberal city in America.
How does Chief Banks, I don't know if you asked him this, what's the general thought on, I believe it's up to 1.8 million illegals have self-deported under the program. They get some money, they get to jump back into the front of the line if they come back legally. Does ICE and Border Patrol think it's working?
Yeah, actually, again, speaking of that, I'm going to be releasing the whole 15-minute interview. That was one of the things he brought up. He said every time we go into a community and do targeted enforcement, we get more applications through the CBP Home app because of the enforcement. People are realizing, illegals are realizing they're coming, and they'd rather do it on their own terms than get picked up by ICE and forced home. If you choose to use that CBP Home app, you can actually not only go home, it doesn't count against you, it's not considered a deportation, and the government will actually pay for your flight back home. You can actually apply legally to try to come through the process. But now if you get deported, you don't have that option. You'll never be allowed back in unless a Democrat gets into office and you come back in illegally. So we're seeing a massive, every single time they do these targeted enforcement, you're seeing an increase in people using that CBP Home app.
Indeed. Ben, we're going to let you go, my friend. I know you're busy. You got a bunch of people who begging to get Ben Bergquam on the show. Thank you. Appreciate your time, Ben Bergquam, Law and Border with Ben.
I got to get back out with ICE. We're going after more illegals, brother. Yeah, no, it's not pleasure.
Go get them. Go get them. Send them home. Send them home. Tell them they can come back and pay taxes like the rest of us. Thank you, Ben. Okay.
That's right.
All righty, folks. Chronic joint inflammation, whether driven by osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or post-traumatic injury, remains one of the most disabling conditions in modern life, especially when you get up there in age, a little bit older. All these things start to hurt. Everything hurts. To find out more, let's bring in the Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company, good friend of mine, personal friend, Dr. Peter McCullough. Doc, really good to have you on. Tell us about chronic joint inflammation and what we can do and what specifically the Wellness Company can help us with.
Eric, you should know better than anyone, being a former pro athlete. And, as we get older, our joints get older, and invariably we get some joint pain, or sometimes I just think our joints feel old. Wellness company has innovated with a product called TheraBloom, which contains multiple very, very innovative ingredients, including methylene blue, NAD, a peptide, a copper-based peptide that helps in joint repair, as well as multiple botanicals. And we encourage people to use it every day consistently, whether the joint hurts or not, to fundamentally change the natural history of this arthritis.
Doc, you're right. I have a massive joint problem, my right arm, from throwing all the wear and tear. Is it one of the things, do I have to have surgery, or is there hope for me?
It all depends, because certainly you need to see your orthopedist, and the MRIs have assisted greatly. I've run a marathon in every state in the country. I've got a lot of mileage on my legs and knees, and they just sometimes feel old. And I personally use the product every day consistently. And, it's a method of not just relieving pain, but also, we think improving the joints. And it's you really can't do that by taking pills. And surgeries can only go so far. So what's really going to carry us? TheraBloom.
TheraBloom. Interesting. Also, you mentioned peptides, and the reason why I asked this, Doc, if I'm not mistaken, the GLP-1 drugs are peptides. How is this different?
Well, these are short. This is a short peptide that fundamentally gets absorbed through the skin and then favorably influences repair of the proteins that make up cartilage and ligaments. So it's very different than a GLP-1 peptide. But, the Federal Trade Commission regulates them. They are safe for topical use. Wellness Company has a tremendous experience there, and the peptides are actually in a special, what's called aquasome, that allows the delivery into the skin. They're safe, and this is a giant advantage over just the topical pain relievers that people are used to. This fundamentally, we believe, changes arthritis and helps people heal and get better.
So Doc, one more question before I let you go. Methylene blue and TheraBloom. Tell us. They're popping up everywhere. Everyone's starting to talk about it. Just tell us what those are.
Well, methylene blue, we use it. I'm a cardiologist. We use it in cardiology to kind of revive the cardiovascular system after heart transplant. It's used in carbon monoxide overdoses. It helps regenerate the mitochondria, the energy factories within cells. Well, we can actually use it topically to help rejuvenate the mitochondria in the cells. And some of these senescent cells in the joints, they need a boost, and they fundamentally help those cells get a metabolic boost.
We got to let you go. Wellness Company, by the way, you can get 10% off if you mention Real America's Voice. Is that right?
That's right. Use your promo code, get 10% off. These make great stocking stuffers. And, Wellness Company, well supported by Real America's Voice and your audience. Thank you so much.
All right. Doc, really good having you on, my friend. We love having Dr. Peter McCullough, one of the premier doctors in America, on us with us. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Every man gets a moment in life where life quietly asks a dangerous question. Who are you willing to become to get ahead? Patrick Bet-David got that question working the front desk at a Bally's gym, no less, way back when. Watch.
They call me, they say, how much money you make at Bally's right now? I said, I'm doing great. I'm making $3,300 a month. He says, how would you like to make $4K a week if you just come with us? You're just our muscle, and you got to get us, collect money. I come home, I'm like, oh,
they're dealing coke.
Oh, coke, like, yeah. This guy eventually ends up going away, but so they're dealing coke, and I come back and I say, I can't do it, so I don't do it.
You got to find out how that story ends. That's on The Edge. We have some of the most amazing interviews, almost an hour, with Patrick Bet-David, one of the premier talking heads in America right now. Great guy. If that hit you, that's what The Edge is all about. The split second before your life goes one direction or the other, you make that decision. The full story on The Edge. Here's what you got to do. See that QR code right there? Use a camera. Point your camera right at that QR code. A little yellow line comes. Press it. You've subscribed. Never going to charge you. Never going to ask you for a dime. Never going to market anything to you. I just want you part of this group that's growing 150 times faster than all new YouTube channels. I said that right. 150. The Edge, Eric Bolling, The Edge on YouTube. Eric Bolling, The Edge on YouTube, or use that QR code. I really, really appreciate your subscription. It helps us out a lot. Thank you. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
I was born with idiopathic infantile scoliosis. I've had 17 surgeries.
I was born missing my lower right foot.
I was born 10 weeks early without my left arm.
I have osteogenesis imperfecta. I've broken over 70 bones in my lifetime.
With my polio, I have tough days and my pain just pops out of nowhere. There's nothing to be afraid of because all the doctors are all so nice.
Most people think, oh, it's the medical side of things at Shriners Hospital, but for me, it's the confidence that I've gotten.
When somebody sees these commercials, there'll be a phone number on the screen and all they have to do is call and make a donation to help kids like me. Thanks to a generous donor, your gift will have 3 times the impact to help more kids.
When you join with us, we'll send you one of these adorable blankets as a thank you and a reminder of all the abilities you are helping make possible.
We have so much to celebrate this time of year.
Please call or go to loveshiners.org. Your first gift of $19 a month will have 3 times the impact in the lives of kids like me.
You are the best you because Shriners has given you the confidence that you need.
It's just really cool knowing that you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Shriners has given so much to us, and we have a mission and we have a goal that we want to help more kids.
From all of us at Shriners Hospitals for Children, Merry Christmas.
Please call the number on your screen or go to loveshiners.org. If operators are busy, please call again. And when you become a monthly donor, your first gift will have 3 times the impact to help more kids.
Thank you for giving.
President Trump delivered on his promises, but we can't get complacent. None of our America First agenda will be secure until we build the Red Wall. Turning Point PAC is building the Red Wall in Arizona, Nevada, and New Hampshire, key battleground states where conservatives outnumber Democrats. We're funding door knockers who will win the next elections in 2026, 2028, and beyond. Today, we're asking for your immediate support. Donate at tprab.com or scan the QR code now to fund our field operations.
All righty, folks. Well, day 2 of Jasmine Crockett's new Senate campaign launch did not include another rapper.
Let's get into it. Okay. She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Always willing to go toe-to-toe against the president.
No rapper on day 2 of her launch, but it still maintained plenty of Jasmine's ridiculous delusions and notions, starting with how Jasmine Crockett believes she can Mamdani her way into Texas Senate seats.
Let me tell you something. Mamdani has not backed down whatsoever from his rhetoric against the president. In the Oval Office, he stood there and he said what he said about him being a fascist, yet he was able to win those voters. So Democrats that believe the only way that you can win is by being soft and sounding like a Republican, that is not true. What people are looking for are people that are tough and are fighters and are going to fight for them.
I mean, who's going to vote for this woman? Are you kidding me? Texas, you better come out. CNN's Jake Tapper decided to do some journalisming for a change. Probably still embarrassed about referring to a black man as the white man on air last week. Remember when he thought it was a white man? It was actually a black guy who committed the crime. Jake decided to actually ask Jasmine Crockett a difficult question for a change, specifically about this article from Vanity Fair in which she said that Trump voting Latinos have a slave mentality. And of course, Jasmine rolled out the usual Democrat trope of what you heard is not what you actually heard.
It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Now, about the time that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong Trump's immigration policies.
So I don't believe that the people that voted for Trump believe in what they're actually getting.
No, so the Democrats, especially Jasmine Crockett, who, Democrat by definition, they lie, and most politicians do, by the way, said, oh, I didn't say that. Well, you actually did say that. You wrote it, too. The internet's a funny thing. It kind of lives forever, Jazzy Jasmine. Tepper also decided to ask Jasmine Crockett about that weird launch ad that went up on YouTube with just President Trump's voice over Jasmine's face. She turns a couple of times. And, of course, her defense of that comical video went just as you would expect it to.
Your official announcement is just a video of you, and an image of you, while insults of President Trump of you play in the background. Why that decision? I mean, one of your opponents, Tallarico, he had a video, him with constituents, him with Texans. Why you solo?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to do something different. Because number one, in order to flip the state of Texas, we're going to have to do something that we've never done. So I wanted to stay on brand with the fact that we would be different. I also wanted people to understand who the president sees as a real threat, and it is me.
No, lady, your brand isn't different. Your brand is Trump derangement syndrome, and you think there are enough liberals in Texas to vote you into a Senate seat, the very important Senate seat, because they don't like Trump either. You're out of your mind. It ain't going to happen. It hasn't happened in decades. It's not going to happen this time around. As expected, the ladies of The View are supporting Jasmine Crockett's wild notions and honestly believing that she stands a chance at a Texas Senate seat. But what's even more ridiculous is why they believe that.
This is my frustration. If purely being against Donald Trump was a winning strategy, Dems would have beat him in 2016 and they would have beat him in 2024. I would have loved to hear, I'm Jasmine Crockett and I'm going to fight for affordability. I'm going to fight for the working class. I'm going to bring manufacturing back. Talking about issues, Texans aren't looking for you to take on Donald Trump. They just want competent leadership for the state.
Texans are plain-spoken people, just like everybody else. They know that the economy is going down, down, down. He's underwater with the American people. His approval rate is 39% or something, and with Hispanics, it's 38%. And she assumes that they read and that they can see that the economy is in the toilet.
You know, that's pretty amazing, Joy Behar. I mean, do you remember the last 4 years, Joe Biden? You want to talk about the economy, 9% inflation. Wages were going down, inflation was going up, people getting squeezed. Now, I do think things are getting better under Trump, but they could be a lot better. I think he should lean into some of these titans of business. Anyway, on to the next one. On the subject of having no clue whatsoever about the economy, the insistence of clueless lefties to go on the air and speak as though they're financial gurus, always comical to me. But Joy Reid takes some time out of being racist to be, I don't know, stupid.
I can't imagine the job of the next president to have to fix this mess, because this is a mess. Like, he's going to lead. I mean, I'm assuming 2026 we end up in a recession. I'm just assuming that. And I think people should brace themselves for the economy to get really bad, because when a small number of people get rich and you don't expand the middle, and when the bottom gets poorer, there's no way to sustain an economy like that anybody can really benefit from. I mean, Trump is benefiting. His friends are benefiting. Who else? It's not good.
And you know what you did there, Joy Reid? You described Joe Biden's 4 years, where the middle class gets squeezed. Prices were going up, wages were stagnant or going down, and your budgets were busted. Trump is trying to turn that around. I'll tell you what else. Joe Biden raised taxes. Trump is trying to lower taxes for everybody. That helps the middle class out. These people are just, I think if they say it and say it enough, they'll start believing it themselves, and hopefully the people who are saying it to start to believe it. I'm not sure if it's working. That's got to be their plan. In other socialist news, Zoran Mamdani, who promised everyone free stuff with no clue how to pay for it, is airing yet another ad begging New Yorkers for donations just weeks before he takes office as mayor of the big rotten apple.
Time flies. Believe it or not, we have just a few weeks left before I take office as the next mayor of New York City. But before then, I would like to quote the great senator from Vermont. I'm once again asking for your support. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about why we need it. We've had a full plate getting ready for January. We're reviewing the more than 70,000 resumes we received, setting up our transition committees, naming our appointees who will turn policy into practice, and planning and budgeting for an inauguration celebration we are so excited to share with you soon. All so we can start delivering on our affordability agenda from day one, without skipping a beat.
Yeah, your affordability crap. If you run out of people's money to give to other people's, again, the makers make enough, they can't give enough, they're already taxed at the highest rate in the whole entire country. He wants to raise taxes more. Eventually, the takers will all flood to New York and the makers will leave. It's going to be a hellhole, even worse than it is already. Leftists still can't get it through their thick heads that DEI is one of the most poisonous policies in the world. I'll tell you what, they're not going to. They're going to still play with it, but it's always fun watching them play around. Watch.
Anti-DEI is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. You're opposing diversity and equity and inclusion. Why? What is wrong with any of those things? And I think that to attack these notions is a dog whistle to the worst elements of society that are seeing us slide towards a more fascistic world. And every politician who engages in that should be ashamed of themselves.
Meritocracy works. It's always worked. The free market, the capitalist market. Call me a capitalist pig because I am. Gosh darn it. I almost said the wrong word. All right, just finishing off with yet another ridiculous moment on The View, in which Sunny hosted and proves yet again that the left not only condones violence and killing, but also celebrates those who defend them and want criminals right back out in the streets.
You know, I think the system is doing what it's supposed to do. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. That is our system here, and I think that needs to be that needs to be expected. And I do know these defense attorneys. Actually, I know Karen Agnifilo extremely well. She is the best of the best, and she was a former prosecutor. And so I know for sure that he is getting the best defense. And don't we want that? I think we do want people who allegedly murdered a CEO, a young person with all the potential in the world, to have a defense, and so that if he is convicted, he is rightfully convicted.
She's defending the convicted murderers, that Ilhan Omar defending the Somalis who stole $1 billion from the people of Minnesota. They defend the criminals at the expense of the citizens. What a shock. All right, folks, nobody warns men about this phase of life when the money's good, but something just still feels empty. Patrick Bet-David hit that wall and made a move most men are afraid to make.
Because to me, I'm like, is this it? I know Dad's retired. He's not working at the 99-cent store again. And I'm just not happy. I'm not content because to me, I'm like, is this it? Am I just supposed to make money and that is it? Because that's not going to be the case for me. I need more than that.
You know, and that's what we tap into. We tap into the motivations. We tap into the performance, men's performance, and we tap into how men who've fallen get back up. Real risk isn't falling. Real risk is not getting back up. If you stay where you don't belong, that is where the conversation ends. That's where we pick it up on The Edge. Now, hit that QR code right there with your phone. Show the camera to that. Hit the yellow line. You will subscribe again. It really, really means a lot to us. We're growing so fast, so big. You're part of the movement. We want you part of the movement. I asked to see if we can get to 7,000 by the end of the year. We're at 7,300 already. We might get to 8,000 by the end of the year at this rate because of you. Thank you for your subscription. It means the world to us. Never charge you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you watching Raf. Appreciate you supporting me, and really, you support me by subscribing to The Edge. Eric Bolling, The Edge on YouTube. YouTube.com/@EricBollingTheEdge. Please subscribe. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
We've moved so far away from the Constitution that in many ways we don't even recognize it.
In Hillsdale College's most popular online course, Constitution 101, distinguished politics professors teach you the meaning and history of the Constitution, how it's been undermined, and what it will take to restore it. Absolutely free at learnfromhillsdale.org. You'll learn the principles of American government, discover how the founders established the freest and most prosperous nation in history, see the ways we have moved beyond the Constitution in the past, and how we face a new crisis posed by the rise of the bureaucratic state.
We think that we're becoming more advanced by abandoning the Constitution and adopting something like an administrative state, that the administrative state intrudes upon even the minutest aspects of people's lives.
When you learn the facts about the Constitution and see that its principles are just as important today as when first written, you'll understand why we must fight to recover it for future generations.
Almost everybody in America, even people with very different perspectives,
sense this. There's something deeply wrong with our political life. Recovery of the earlier constitutional understanding, I believe it's useful to help guide us, but at the very least, we have to understand it.
This exceptional content is available to you now. Signing up is easy and free when you go to learnfromhillsdale.org today. When you sign up, you'll enjoy 12 easy-to-follow lessons and be able to separate truth from fiction regarding the Constitution. Join more than 1 million Americans who've taken Constitution 101 or enjoy one of the many other course opportunities by signing up for free today.
You know, this course really does help you understand our protections and what this country is founded on.
I was really humbled by how much of history I'd forgotten. Everyone really needs to take this course.
To start your journey discovering the Constitution free of charge, go to learnfromhillsdale.org today.
Charlie may be gone, but his legacy lives on. It's up to us to continue the fight for the heart and soul of America in his stead. Turning Point PAC is 100% committed to Charlie's big picture vision to build the Red Wall. Starting in Arizona, New Hampshire, and Nevada, 3 battleground states where conservatives outnumber Democrats. Will you help us carry the torch for Charlie? Your gift helps us deploy door knockers, chase ballots, and ramp up our grassroots efforts for the fight ahead. Visit tprav.com or scan the QR code now to help us win in key battleground states.
All right, let's come back to voice. We love the voicemails. You guys are amazing. I probably have 10,000 voicemails from you. I get to as many as I can. I send some over. I think they're fun. I think they're interesting. But most importantly, I think you're asking the questions that most people are asking. We try to answer some of them, certainly in the voicemails, and we also try and program the show for that. Great shot of control. Mad Dog, I have a question for you. Do we take the Caroline Leavitt's presidential briefing every time she does one? Do we take it live at Real America's Voice? Every time, sir. Right? Do you think there's any reason we wouldn't take it tomorrow at 1 o'clock? Just probably not, right? We would definitely take it, right?
No, we'd definitely take it.
We're going to take it. Hey, folks, let's just say, I hope you watch it tomorrow at 1 o'clock, especially the beginning part of it, right at the top, whenever she starts. I'm going to leave it at that. It's called a deep tease. A tease is what's coming next on the show. A deep tease is what's coming tomorrow. Just watch that 1 o'clock briefing. I'm not going to, even you guys in the control room don't even know what it is, do you?
I do not.
And no one knows. You folks are the first to hear about it. All right, let's do a voicemail, Mad Dog.
Yes, sir. This viewer says, beware, Jasmine Crockett.
Hey, Mark from Texas, beware with Jasmine Crockett. She's not that much, but boy, she's got some professional help. That was very well done. That looked like Hollywood backing her, and she can probably get that help if she needs. Beware.
Yeah, man, you are so right. That, she pulled that video down, the one where Trump is talking about her, and she's kind of looking around. I guess whoever realized it was a dumbass thing to put up there. If you can come out and become a Texas senator, you have to have policies. You have to have ideas that the people want to hear. But it's clear she only wants to be anti-Trump. But you're right, man. That was a polished video. So there's some money behind that woman. Of course, the left would love to turn that seat blue. Bad Dog, you got another one?
Yes, sir. This next viewer thinks that the world is ran by fear.
Hi, Eric. I love your show. I watch it every day. Let's face the facts. The world is run by fear. Right now, as I'm making this message, there's probably 3 or 4 different crime families plotting to assassinate our president. Guys like you and me, we're trying to be clever and get the message out and get people motivated and figure out that magic statement that's going to travel across the world to change things. We're trying, and the beat goes on, but like I said, people are just scared, plain and simple. I'm not afraid. It's probably why I've been a victim of attempted murder on probably at least 2 occasions that I know of. So you speak the truth, and only the good die young. Well, I'm not young. I'm 66, so I might not be as good as I think I am. Talk to you later, big boss.
All right. Thank you for the call. Yeah, you're right. Fear is one tactic. The left loves to use fear. That's what they do. That's their, and it's also informing people, telling the truth, being transparent. That's what we do on the right. That's certainly what we do on this show. Mad Dog.
Viewer wants action from Republicans.
Hey, when do you think the Republicans are going to stop talking so much
and arrest some of these politicians. Been irritating the crap out of me that all they do is talk, and nobody's been arrested. Thanks. Have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, too. You're right, 100%. We talk about this all the time. Put some people, perp walks, slam some doors, and maybe some of the BS stops. Mad Dog, we have another time for a quick one?
Yes, sir. Quick.
Eric, Mike in Oregon, big fan. I'm way behind enemy lines out here. What happened to the idea of a new census and have it done by the United States Postal Service? That would really help our representation out. Thanks, and God bless.
So this is very interesting. As you well know, we talked to Bannon, Trump first term in 2016, Trump Tower. Bannon calls me up. We want you for our Commerce Secretary. I had to thank them and politely turn them down because I was at Fox. I was just started the 5 center seat on the 5. I said no, but what I think this is important to do another census. Trump wants to do another census through the Commerce Department. Another census, but this time you don't count illegals. Do you know the census counts illegals and resources are diverted to states and municipalities that have massive numbers of illegals? Let's do a census, American citizens only. Trump's right on that. That's his idea. I'm not taking it. I'm not coming up with it. That's all Trump for you, folks. And he's right. He's right. Howard Lutnick, hopefully he does it. Hopefully they get that thing across the finish line. That's about it. We got Bannon's War Room coming up next. I'll be here in D.C. today. I think I'll be here tomorrow. You're going to watch that briefing. Don't forget to watch that briefing. If not, I'll be back in West Palm Beach. See you tomorrow, folks.